Today, we are going to discuss very important exercise that is very helpful for your GATE examination. If you are going to pay attention towards today's topic, definitely you are going to secure 2 marks. If it is a normal examination, 1 or 2 marks, that doesn't matter. But as it is a competitive examination, each and every mark matters a lot. Yeah, am I audible to you? Yeah. So today we are going to discuss one of the important topic, adjectives. Most, so for example, most of you are thinking that the pronunciation of this word is adjectives. But do you know that the right pronunciation of this word is adjectives? Here, in this word, D is silent. So we'll call it as adjectives. Yeah, let us discuss adjectives in today's class. First, let us see its definition. What is adjectives? Adjectives are words that describes nouns. And also, adjectives are useful. What kind and which one and how many? These questions is going to be answered by adjectives. Let us discuss adjectives in detail. Adjectives is also used to describe a color or opinion, size, age, shape, origin, material, distance, temperature, and time. So, for example, it is going to describe the color, whether it is blue, red, green, brown, whatever that might be. Otherwise, it is also going to be used to describe an opinion of a person, whether he is good, whether she is pretty. It is also going to describe the size of a person, size of an object, big, small, long, short, like that. And also, it is going to describe the age of a person, whether he is young age, old age, like that. It is also going to describe the shape of an object, shape of a person, like that, round, triangle, rectangle, like that. And also, it is going to describe an origin, whether he came from Malaysia, German, like that. And also, it is adjectives is also going to describe material. So, for example, the material is made up of metal or glass, and so on. In addition to that, it is also going to describe the distance, whether the distance is too long, short, near, or far, and so on. It is also describe the temperature, whether it is cold, warm, and finally, it is also going to describe the time, whether it is late, whether it is early, like that. Let us see the types of adjectives. There are 7 types of adjectives. First one is qualitative adjectives. This is also known as descriptive adjectives. Second one is quantitative adjectives. Third one is demonstrative adjectives. Fourth one is possessive, interrogative, distributive, and finally compound adjectives. Let us discuss these 7 adjectives one by one in detail. Quantitative adjective. Quantitative adjectives describes the quality of a person or thing. So, for example, its size, its general description, whether it is physical description of a person, their age, their shape, color, material, origin, and so on. So, for example, whether a person is tall or whether he is slim, whether he is excellent, and so on. Let us see one or two examples so that you'll understand it better. The tall girl is my classmate. Another example, the students achieved excellent results. So, in the first sentence, tall is an adjective which is going to say the quality of that girl. And in the second example, what type of students are they? They are excellent. The students achieved excellent results. So, in the first sentence, tall. In the second sentence, excellent. These two adjectives are known as qualitative adjectives. Let us see the another type of adjective, that is quantitative. Quantitative adjectives indicate the number or amount of things. Shows the quantity of something. How much? So, for example, some, much, little, enough, all, whole. These are all examples of quantitative adjectives. Let us see few example sentences. She found many pens under the table. There was no milk in the jug. There are 37 students in this class. So, in this first sentence, many. In the second sentence, no. In the third sentence, 37. These three adjectives are known as quantitative adjectives. It describes the quantity of something. Let us see another type of adjective. Demonstrative adjectives. It is going to demonstrate. That means it is going to point out nouns. So, for example, this, that, those, these, like that. So, for example, this is my friend Divya. Those books belongs to her. So, in the first sentence, this, in the second sentence, those are considered as demonstrative adjectives. Let us see the next type of adjectives. Interrogative adjectives. As you know, interrogative adjectives are used with nouns to ask questions. For example, what, why, how, where, which, whose, like that. With these adjectives, we are going to ask questions. So, for example, whose pen is this? Which way shall we go? Whose and which are considered as interrogative adjectives. Let us see the next type of adjectives, that is possessive adjectives. Possessive adjectives are used to show possession. For example, my, your, his, her, or, their, its. So these are all possessive adjectives. So for example, this is her hat. Their parents came to my house yesterday. Let us see the next type of adjectives. Those are distributive adjectives. Distributive adjectives show that the persons or things are counted collectively. Normally, this is used with singular nouns. Let us see an example. Each participant was asked to complete a survey. Let us see another example. Either of these movies would be interesting to me. So each, every, either, and neither, these are all known as distributive adjectives. And let us see the last type of adjective, that is compound adjectives. Compound adjectives made up of two or more words. So, for example, lightweight, duty free, for food, part time, like that. Let us see one or two example sentences. We have to be open minded about things. Here, open minded is compound adjective. Let us see another example. The lady is wearing a pair of high heeled shoes. High heel. This is a compound adjective. And also, adjectives, we are going to, there are type of three forms of adjectives. They are known as comparison of adjectives. There are three forms. One is positive form, another one is comparative, and the next one is superlative. Positive adjectives, comparative, and superlative forms. Let us see one by one. Normally, in the case of comparison, we are going to compare with er by adding er or est. The positive adjective is going to become comparative, and by adding est, the comparative is going to become superlative. So let us see a few examples. Clean. By adding the suffix er, it is going to become comparative form. By adding est to clean, it is going to become superlative form. Clean, cleaner, cleanest. And in the same way, dirty is a positive form, dirtier is a comparative form, and dirtiest is superlative form. Like that, clever, cleverer, cleverest. Simple, simpler, simplest. Narrow, narrower, narrowest. In the case of comparison, in the case of some adjectives, their comparative form is somewhat different. By adding more, it is going to become comparative. By adding most, it is going to become superlative. So, for example, difficult, its comparative form is more difficult, and its superlative form is the most difficult. Like that, we'll take another word. Beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. There will be some irregular adjectives. Irregular in the sense their comparative form is different and their superlative form is also different. So, for example, good, better, best. Each and every form is entirely different from one another. Bad is positive, worse is comparative, worst is superlative. Much, more, most. Many, more, most. Little, less, least. Little, smaller, smallest. These are three different type of forms of an adjectives: positive, comparative, and superlative. There are some special adjectives. Special in the sense it has two possible forms. One form is by adding er and est, they are going to become super comparative. And in another way, more or most, By adding more or most, it is going to be superlative. So, for example, take one example: clever. Clever is a positive form. Its comparative form is either cleverer or more cleverer. Both are right answers. Even in the case of superlative, cleverest, we may say cleverest as well as most clever. Common, positive form. Commoner is comparative. More common is also comparative. Commonest is superlative. Most common is also superlative. Like that, likely, likelier, more likely, likeliest, more likely. So these are some special adjectives which has two possible forms of comparison as well as superlative. Let us practice an exercise to identify adjectives in these sentences. Will you able to identify the adjectives in these four sentences? Try using this paintbrush in art class. What is adjective in this sentence? Many people came to visit the fair. I went into the duty free shop, but I did not buy anything. He doesn't seem intelligent, but he is. Can you able to identify the adjectives in these four sentences? In response to this, type the answers in the chat box. Yeah, let us see the answers. Yeah. In the first sentence, this is an adjective. Second sentence, many. Intelligent. Yeah, in your gate examination, this type of questions that is going to be asked. They're going to give you a sentence and you have to identify the adjectives from the sentences given to you. Yeah, this is all about adjectives. Let us move towards one more topic, very important topic, that is nothing but prepositions. Let me share my screen to you. The prepositions are also very important. Do you know one thing, that if a person who is good at using prepositions, then he is going to be mastered in English language. Is my screen is visible to you? Yeah, let me share. Yeah, I hope that the screen is visible to you. Yeah, any one of you please respond whether it is visible to you or not. Yeah, okay then. Well, let us see prepositions. Preposition is a word which shows the relationship between a noun or a pronoun and some other word in a sentence. So, for example, Radhika lives in Vijayawada. Here, in this sentence, in is a preposition. Let me take another example. Her mother is proud of her success. In this sentence, of is a preposition. Prepositions are words that we use before nouns or pronouns to show their relationship with other words in a sentence. So, for example, I am sitting on a chair. Here, on the preposition on is going to show the relationship between the chair and myself. There are prepositions of place, time, and direction. Let us see one by one in detail. Prepositions of place. There are some prepositions show where something happens. They are called prepositions of place. Let us see some examples. Sanjay was sitting under a tree. Here, under is a preposition of place. Where Sanjay is sitting, under a tree. That is a place where Sanjay is sitting. Yeah. Let us see another example. There is a wooden floor underneath the carpet. Here, underneath is a preposition of place. Some parrots flew over their house. Here, over is the prepositions of place. Place preposition. The next sentence, inside, beside, and the last sentence, in. These are all place prepositions. Let us see prepositions of time. Some prepositions show when something happens. They are called prepositions of time. College starts at 9 o'clock. Here, the preposition at shows the time. So it is a time preposition. The second sentence, we are going to the zoo on Sunday. Here, on is a time preposition. In the next sentence, past, during, by. In the last sentence, before. These are all prepositions of time. Let us see the prepositions of direction. Some prepositions show where something is going. They are called prepositions of direction. So, for example, the boys chased after each other. In this sentence, after shows the direction. In second sentence, the rock rolled down the hill. Here, down is the preposition of direction. In the next sentence, along, right, and the last sentence, toward. We were traveling towards Kalyani Dam. Toward shows the direction. So, in the case of prepositions of location, on, in, under, in front of, among, between. These are all examples of prepositions of location. Let us see the picture. The ball is in the box, on the box, under the box, next to the box, behind the box, in front of the box, and between the box. The apple is on the stool. In first picture, under the stool. In second picture. Yeah, Ravi is in front of Suresh. like that. Against. In first picture, it shows against. In the second picture, it shows inside or in. Against means next to and touching on upright surface of support. So, for example, the boy is leaning against the wall. I am leaning against the whiteboard. Don't lean against the wall. It is just being painted. So, against means next to. In the first picture, between, we are going to use the adjective between if an object is at the middle of the two objects. If there is more, we can able to say among. Beside, first picture beside. Beside means by the side of, behind, at the back of. In case of prepositions of direction, the examples for prepositions of direction is to, from, into, along, over, through, across, and around. So, for example, I am walking to school. Richard came into the room. Into is used to show motion or movement. So, for example, the cat jumped into the box. That means that the cat is in motion. The cat is in movement. In that case, we are going to use into. Another example, the ball fell into the river. Like that. She has returned from town. They walk along the row of houses. The boys ran across the road. Here, across is the preposition. Across means on the opposite side. The boy swam across the pond. Sita is walking across the road. That means opposite side. They are running around the tree. Around means moving in a circle. Tim jumped over the fence. Example, the boy jumped over the fence. The cat leaps over the drain. The bird flew in through the window. Here, through is an adjective. Amar threw the rubbish through the window. In the case of prepositions of time, we may use by, for, before, after, since, at, and during. Yeah, let us see an exercise regarding prepositions. Here in these sentences, find the prepositions in each sentence. There are 8 sentences. Read it out and find out the prepositions in each and every sentence. The flowers along the fence were pretty. Just wait until tomorrow. Sam left the house without his jacket. Have you read the letter from your cousin? During the past month, I have read 10 books. Sally ran across the street. The chemist knows the answer to the question. Drive down the road. Can you able to identify the prepositions in each and every sentence? Yeah, you will easily identify. Let us see the answers. Yes. In first sentence, along is the preposition. The second sentence, until. The third sentence, without. The fourth sentence, from. The fifth sentence, during. The sixth sentence, across. The seventh sentence, to. The last sentence, down. Let us see prepositional phrases. A prepositional phrase is a group of words that begins with a preposition and ends with a noun or pronoun, which is called object of the preposition. Let us see the sentence. The boy near the window is a football player. Here, the boy is subject. Near the window is a prepositional phrase. Near is a preposition. Window is an object of the preposition. Let us see the previous example again. The flowers along the fence. Here, along the fence is a prepositional phrase. The second sentence, until tomorrow, is a prepositional phrase. The third sentence, without his jacket, is a prepositional phrase. The fourth sentence, from your cousin, is a prepositional phrase. The fifth sentence, during the past month, is a prepositional phrase. The seventh sentence, to the question, is a prepositional phrase. To is a preposition, and to the question is a prepositional phrase. Down is a preposition. Down the road is a prepositional phrase. The important fact is we have to use between when the object of the preposition refers to two people or things. But in the case, the same way, among is used when speaking of three or more. So, for example, the boy sat between two girls. The teacher sat among all the students. Another important fact is sometimes the same word can be used as a preposition or as an adverb. So, for example, if the word has no object, then it is an adverb. So, for example, I went out. In the first sentence, out is used as adverb. In the same way, in the second sentence, the same word out is used as preposition. I went out the door. Here, out is considered as preposition. So it is used in both adverb as well as preposition. Let us see an exercise. The train is passing into the tunnel or through a tunnel. Yeah, it is not into a tunnel, it is through the tunnel. The train is passing through a tunnel is the right answer. We will be going for a holiday towards end of the month. The same way, there is a temple beside or besides our house. Beside our house is the right answer. There is a slight difference between beside and besides. Besides means by the side of. Besides means in addition to. So, for example, the next sentence. Besides acting, Amir Khan has started directing film also. Besides, in addition to acting, Amir Khan has started directing a film. Let us see another exercise. Radhika is upset over her result, the right answer, not under her result. Before leaving for a journey, I check that my suitcase are packed. Let us see another exercise. The London Bridge is built on the Thames. The yoga classes are held in the park. Devika dived into the pool. Into is used if an action is in motion. Let us see another exercise. Yeah, here fill in the blanks with suitable prepositions. The flight departed on time. So it is a time on, as we have already discussed. On is a time preposition. On is a time preposition. Let us see second example. The early man walked on foot from one place to another. The play started at 8 p.m. sharp. The museum is open from Monday to Friday. Let us see the picture. The man is behind the ball, in front of the ball, above the ball, under the on the ground, between the two flowers, in the box, near the chair. Yeah, let us solve some exercises. Yeah, let us solve some exercises regarding prepositions, simple exercises. Where is the Fido? Fido is dash the doghouse. Where is the Fido? Yeah, you're right. Fido is in the doghouse. Let us see the next. Where is the house? The house is dash the hill. The house is, come on, tell me, where is the house? The house is, yeah, you're right. The house is on the hill. The house is on the hill. Next example. Where is the elephant? The elephant is, yeah, here is an elephant. This is what? This is the question mark. The elephant is, dash the question mark. The elephant is, where it is? Yes, the elephant is under the question mark. And here is the question mark. Under the question mark, there is an elephant. The elephant is under the question mark. Let us see another example. Here comes the tricky part. You have to pay attention. Find the prepositions in the following sentences. There are four sentences. What you have to do is you have to identify the prepositions in each and every sentence. Let us see these four sentences. Do you like to play? Do you like to play hide and hide and go seek? Second sentence. My favorite place to hide is under the kitchen table. Third sentence. If someone is already there, I usually in the closet. If there is not enough room in the closet, I'll crawl under my bed. What you have to do is you have to find the prepositions in the following sentences. Did you find all four? Yes. Here is the answer. Yeah. All answers are correct. Check it out. Let us see. Let's practice the last exercise regarding prepositions. Which of the following words are not prepositions? Here is a list of words. Only few words are prepositions. There is a mixture, there is a combination of prepositions with other words. And what you have to do is you have to identify the words which are not prepositions. Across, which, from, over, what, for, how, between, around, up, whenever, before. Out of these 12 words, there are some words which are not comes under the category preposition. You have to identify the words which are not considered as prepositions. Let us see a solution for this. Yes. Yeah. The words which are in green color, they are not considered as prepositions. How, which, what, whenever. These four words are not considered as prepositions. The rest of the words are preposition. Across is a preposition. From is a preposition. Over is a preposition. For is a preposition. Between is a preposition. Round, up, before. These are all prepositions. Yeah, that's all about prepositions. Yeah, you did a great job. So today we have discussed these two topics, adjectives as well as prepositions. If you are going to pay attention towards these two topics, definitely you are going to secure 2 marks. I hope that you understand well. Yeah, that is all about today's class.